Hey guys, welcome to another video of your favorite cloud learning platform, K21 Academy, where you learn cloud from the experts. In this video, our expert trainer will be giving you a practical demonstration of enabling team-based data science with Azure Databricks. We have taken this clip from our step-by-step learning program on data engineering on Microsoft Azure DP-203. Guys, make sure you watch the entire video so you can avail the free gift at the very end. Now let's hear from our expert.
So guys, let's check out one more lab. And in this part, we are going to do lab number 3, enable team data science with Azure Databricks, and the scenario is over here. In the response to the information service department, you will start the process of building a predictive analytical platform by listing out the benefits of using the technology. The department will be joined by data scientists and they want to ensure that there is a predictive analytical environment available to the new team members. You will stand up and provision an Azure Databricks environment and then test that this environment works by performing a simple data preparation routine on the service by ingesting data from a pre-existing data lake storage, which we already created in the previous section. As a data engineer, it will be indicated to you that you may be required to help the data scientist perform data preparation exercise. To that end, you will recommend a walkthrough notebook that can help you perform basic transformation. So what are we going to do? We will explain Databricks to the data scientist. We will work with Azure Databricks. We'll read data into Databricks. We will perform some transformation. This is what we are doing in this lab. So the same scenario or the case study is still getting followed as such. So read it through. And we have already deployed the data lake in the previous section. We already have the data over there. Databricks is the new thing which we are doing. So let's get started with Databricks. Let's get started with the lab part, and we are going to create one Azure Databricks. We'll create one Spark cluster inside that. So what are we going to do? We'll create an Azure Databricks premium tier instance in a resource group. We'll open the Azure Databricks. We have to launch the workspace. And once we launch the workspace, we will create one Spark cluster inside that. So those three things are what we are doing as part of this exercise. Right, so let's get started. So the very first thing is open your Azure portal, and once you are logged in over there, then we'll create the first thing as Databricks. So this is my Azure portal over here. Click on create a resource, let it load, and then click on then search for Databricks like that. We talked about this, right? Databricks is a third-party company. Data tie-up with Azure is called as Azure Databricks now. So there's the same thing, Azure Databricks. Then click on create after that. So now subscription will be your default subscription, whichever you have, that's totally fine. You guys are comfortable with it, right? There is no point, no change over there, right? Resource group, select the same resource group which we have created before. And as part of the name of the resource of the Databricks, we'll give the same name. AWDB, W student, XX will be the initials over there. So this is from the activity guide. Give the same thing over there. Why are we keeping the name same? Is it any recommendation or anything, any issue going to happen? The main thing is that it's easy to follow the activity guide if we keep the name same, location same, and everything like the way it is given over there, right? So that's the only thing. Premium is there. Premium. We can also go for the 14 days free trial, which was there, the third option. It's totally up to you. Do you want to go for the free trial or premium? Won't throw any error. Both are same. So validation, once it is done, you have to click on create. So Databricks workspace will take some time to create. So once you click on it, just hang in it. You can say a couple of minutes it will take for it to create. And right, once it is deployed, we will go to the workspace. So what have we done? We have created a Databricks. You can say workspace we have created. We have not created anything inside that like cluster type. So we have to do that. So we go and we are this is how it looks and feels like, and then it is status is showing active over there. Now we are going to go and basically launch the workspace. So meaning of launch the workspace means that one more portal will open where that's like a Ambari dashboard, or you can say which is like the portal from where we manage everything. So let's do it. So you can see the option is there in the middle of the screen, launch workspace. Let's click on it and it will redirect. Some login will happen. If you get logged down, just give your username again. Don't try to use incognito mode. Do it from normal mode. And this is how the Databricks looks and feels like. Go through it and then find the cluster option and then click on create the cluster after that. So as part of the cluster name, we'll give the same name which is there in the activity guide. So everything matches as such. DW, adventure work, Databricks, cluster, student, initials. Cluster mode, standard, pool, none. Now one information about the Databricks runtime, guys. So I'm recording this video today. So if you watch this video after some time, then it's possible that the old runtime is got deprecated, right? So don't worry about it. Do one thing. If you don't find the runtime which I'm selecting, 6.2, just do one thing. Select the runtime which is called as 6.5. 6.5, Scala 2.11, Spark 2.4.5. Remember this, right? And just give terminate after 60 minutes. And worker type, you can say min max, leave it default and just click on create the cluster. This is how we create the cluster. The cluster will be up in some time, you can say. It may take even 5 minutes for the cluster to come up. And this is the exercise 2, working with Databricks. So guys, let's get started with the exercise number 3, read data with Azure Databricks. As part of this lab, we are going to do 5 main tasks. Confirm that the Databricks cluster has been created. Second, collect the Azure Data Lake Generation 2 account name. Third, enable your Databricks instance to access Data Lake Generation 2. Rights needs to be given. No rights, no access. Create a Databricks notebook and connect to a Data Lake storage and read data into Azure Databricks. So these 5 tasks we are going to do, and open your activity guide and let's do it, right? So the very first thing is whether the cluster is running or not. So cluster should be running by now. Maybe you don't have 3 nodes running, maybe you have 2 or 1 node running. It doesn't matter. The cluster should be running. If you are doing the lab after a long time, after 60 minutes, then it might be terminated. You can start the cluster from the right hand side again. Apart from this, if there is any error of open one support ticket, we'll check it out. So once you have confirmed your cluster is happily running and it's ready to read some data, let's go to Azure portal and let's find the name of Data Lake from where it will read the data. So Data Lake is inside the storage account. So Data Lake is inside the resource group. So I went to the resource group and now this is my Data Lake. And now I can copy the name from the top as well. You can see the black, it's in the black bold it is written, or you can just click on access key option and you will be able to see that storage account name is there in the gray section. So copy it up and let's open one notepad and we'll store it. So let's store the name of Data Lake, Azure Data Lake storage name. Let's give it account name and store it, right? So a lot of things need to be noted down in this lab. So keep on doing it, right? Otherwise in the end, everything will be a little confusing. Okay, now once we have done this, we will give some rights as such. Now rights needs to be given. Without rights, there is no access from Data Lake. You can say the Databricks will not be able to read from Data Lake. So I need to give the rights as such. Now to give the rights, I have to create one service principal, which I'm doing right now. And rights will be given to that service principal, and then that service principal will be accessed from the Databricks. That's what we are doing. So go to your Azure Active Directory and we'll click on app registration over there. Once it loads up, you can click on app registration and let it load. Once the page is open, you can click on new registration after that. Let it load again. Now give any name which is readable, like DLXs. Let's we can say DLXs is just like name. You can, so whatever name you want to give, you can give it or keep it same as what I am doing. Or you can use your own initials and then you can use the name, and the redirection URL is given in the activity guide. I'm just copy pasting it from there. This the purpose of redirection URL is not much useful right now in our lab, but basically it means that after the auth flow where the token has to be given. So go to DLXs and now from here we have to copy some details as such. You can see. So I clicked on it, so it opened up further. Now you can see application ID, directory ID is written over there. These information we need to copy it down. So copy the application ID, open your notepad one more time, and in your notepad store it, application ID. So let's store it, application ID, and that's the number. and then also directory ID after that. So let's copy paste that and we'll store it. Okay, great. Now one more thing. We'll click on the left hand side. You see there is one option called as certificate and secret. Yellow color icon is there. Click on it. And then on the right hand side, scroll to the bottom and you will see client secret. We don't have a certificate right now, so we'll say client secret. Give it a name, right, like that. You can say that this is the access key, data lake access key. 1 year is good. Expiry 1 year. Anyway, this is just a dummy demo we are doing right now. Click on add and copy this value. Once the value has been created, it will not show afterwards. So scroll down, it will be listed there. Put that in your notepad. Store it. Right side, you can see the value is there. Just copy it and put it in your notepad. Go for it. Store it. We need it afterwards. Okay, so now we have all the information which we need. As such, we need to give the rights now. The rights part is left. Let's go back to the resource group. And this is the resource group where we have data lake. Click on access control IAM option over there. Once it loads, you can see, you can click on add on the top and click on add role assignment, first one, and storage blob data contributor. So click on the first drop down menu and the role you have to search for is storage blob data contributor. This is the right which is required for to read from data lake, right? So this needs to be given to DL access. So the same uh, app registration which we did earlier, DL access, search for the same name. It will be listed over there and just click on it and save from the bottom. There is nothing else. Just search like this. And once it is created, just you can say click on it and just save it. That's all. So by doing clicking on this save option, what are we doing? We are giving that service principal access on data lake, and that service principal we will refer inside the code. So once you have done that, go to your Databricks cluster and click on the workspace option, which is a third option on the left hand side. And there is a drop down menu. Click on it and then click on create notebook. Name you can give as such, and in the language we'll select Scala, right? Don't forget to select Scala because otherwise you will get some errors afterwards, the syntax errors, because you didn't selected Scala. Select the same cluster which you have now, like that. It should be in the drop down menu, should be listed, and just click on create after it. So now this is how the Databricks notebook open. It's very similar to how Jupyter notebook also look like, if you know what Jupyter notebook is. And once it is there, go to your activity guide and we have a particular boilerplate code is there, meaning when you connect to data from data bricks, when you connect to data lake, some specific syntax is required. So this is the syntax. You don't have to worry about the syntax. You just have to do it once, and it's basically the syntax remains same, and copy paste all the information which we have in the you can say previously in that in the notepad over here. So carefully replace the storage account name, and once you have done that, application ID, authentication, and tenant ID, all three things one by one, copy paste it. So application ID, copy it up and give it over there. Right, carefully just make sure that double quotes is there and so on and so forth. Angular brackets, you have to remove it. So doing all of it, let's copy the application key, which is the secret. You remember the secret which we copied, the yellow color secret. This is that one. So copy that, replace it. Carefully replace that, and the tenant will be there in the seventh line like that. You see the tenant ID is there. Copy this. What is tenant ID? Tenant ID is your directory ID. What is directory? Directory is literally Azure Active Directory. So the unique number of that directory is called as tenant ID. So an Active Directory is also called as tenant, FYI. So let's replace it. That's all. That's amazing. Let's just do it like this. So now you have and run the code, run the cell from the left hand side, from the right hand side. You can see like that, and let it run. It will not take much time. It 3 seconds, less than 3 seconds. So there is no output we are expecting. Even if you did something wrong, the error will come after the next snippet. Understand, right? So even if something went wrong, we'll come to know after the next one. So what happened? Authentication happened just now. Let's add a new cell. So like that, we can add it. And this time we are going to read data. So if something was wrong in the previous section, then the error will be there in this section. Okay, so what are we doing? We are going to read data. Preference.json is already uploaded. We did that in the previous section. Storage account name we have to replace over there, and file system name need to be given. So file system name is data, right? We are reading from data, and storage account name you can copy paste from the top, which is name of your data lake. ABFS stands for Azure Blob File System Driver. You can see ABFS is there in the starting of the syntax it's written. That's the driver as such. So data at the rate data lake slash preference.json file should be there, and let's run it. So data will be loaded in this point from data lake into a data frame, which is called as df, and path doesn't exist. So I think I didn't upload data into both of it. So data is not there in data. I think the preference.json was, I only uploaded that in logs. You guys must have uploaded in both the locations, but I'm just changing it to logs, and because that's where my file was available. And let's run this one as well. So now the data will be, you can say, popped up into data frame. That's how we do it. And this is what we are doing as part of this exercise, where we are reading data into Databricks. So we have done a couple of tasks as such. You can go through it one more time. And this is how do we read data into Databricks. So guys, now coming to exercise number 4, we'll perform basic transformation with Azure Databricks. As part of this lab, we are going to retrieve specific column on a data set. We'll perform a column rename on a data set, and we'll add an annotation. So basically these 3 things which we are doing. So by now in your data frame, data should already be loaded. So let's get started, and just let's check this out. So by this point in time, the data is there in the data frame. In the previous lab, we did it, right? So you can see df.show, but we want to only retrieve some important columns from it. We don't want to retrieve everything as such. We don't want to select everything. So what are we doing? We'll do df.select, and we are creating one new column called as specific column df. And this data, so we are creating one new data frame with that name. Apologies. And df.select, we are selecting first name, last name, gender, location, page. So let's run it. So this is our new column with the 4 columns. 5 columns were selected over there as such, and now we are renaming 2 of the columns. So new data frame, rename column df, and with column rename by page and bike preference, like this. So you can see the columns just got renamed as well. So now once the rename has been done, we're just adding some annotation over there. So copy the annotation as such. You can add it like this. You can simply paste your text like this, and that's all.
We have put on everything about the certification and a lot more on this 12-week roadmap that we have created for you if you are preparing for Microsoft Azure Data Engineer certification DP-203. On week number 1, we start with explore compute and storage options for data engineering workloads. Then on week 2, we cover run interactive queries using Azure Synapse Analytics serverless SQL pools. On week number 3, we cover data exploration and transformation in Azure Databricks. On week number 4, we cover explore, transform, and load data into data warehouse using Apache Spark. On week number 5, we cover ingest and load data into data warehouse. On week number 6, we cover transform data with Azure Data Factory or Azure Synapse pipelines. On week number 7, we cover orchestrate data movement and transformation in Azure Synapse pipelines. On week number 8, we cover end-to-end security with Azure Synapse Analytics. On week number 9, we cover support hybrid transactional analytical processing with Azure Synapse Link. On week number 10, we cover real-time stream processing with Stream Analytics. On week number 11, we cover create a stream processing solution with Event Hubs and Azure Databricks. By week 11, we are pretty confident that you are ready for the certification exam. So to top it all off, on week number 12, we help you with some tips and resources for clearing certification and CV preparation, along with some exam questions and interview questions. Guys, this is an excellent training program that we have created specially to meet your needs as you are preparing for the certification exam. If you are interested in this training program, then I would highly recommend you to go and attend our free class on Microsoft Azure Data Engineer certification. In this free class, we will be covering what is Azure Data Engineer role and exam DP-203, why everyone is working on data currently, important Azure services you should learn, and there is going to be a live demo as well on Azure Synapse Analytics components. To register for this free class, go at K21Academy.com/AzureDE02, then select an event date, your name, your email ID, your phone number, and then click on Yes, Save My Seat. Once you click on this button, you will be redirected to this particular page. That means you have successfully registered for this free class. Now, guys, I'll see you guys directly at the free class.